Hi, I'm Ellen McCauley. I'm at Parade off in Syracuse, New York, and it's a beautiful autumn day. And last week, we were blessed to have Father Mano come and bless the group. Who enjoyed that? I enjoyed that. I thought that was very nice. He's very impressed with the group. He's very impressed with what you all have achieved. But last week we didn't do our just 99 days because we were a little pressed for time. So we're going to go over a few things tonight. But I'm going to start by doing this. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm impressed. Now, those of you who don't know what I'm doing, don't put your hand up. Last week, in the just 99 days, on one of the days, it said next week, when I say 1, 2, 3, if you've read the materials, raise your hand. So, it was a little test. Oh, look at, don't raise your hands now, Tom. Get them down. So, the thing is, if you read it and you didn't see that, you flunk your reading comprehension test. I paid some people to read it. So, here's the thing. We are doing very well. A lot of people love this, but are you keeping goals? Now, I even wrote, are you keeping goals? Because you got to keep on keeping on, just like I said in the 70s. Are you committed to a healthy lifestyle? Now, here's a hard one. Let's look at October 30th. Vow to not have any Halloween candy. Now, how many people in this group? Now, when I say not have any Halloween candy, I mean not any on the 30th, the 31st. You don't make it through Halloween and it's midnight on November 1st and start eating the Halloween candy. I mean none, period, ever. And you might say, ever? Okay, let me give you a finite time. From now until, help me someone.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving? You're going to have Halloween candy? Well, you might say, well, I'll have a mini Snickers bar. Well, let's just say, who thinks that they can go from now until Thanksgiving and not have any candy?
Don't lie, I haven't got enough $10 bills for you.
I know. Now, here's the thing.
I don't need it.
What does Halloween mean to you? Now, I know to Bob Schultz, it means it's his birthday. So happy Halloween birthday, Bob, wherever you are. Can you imagine having your birthday on Halloween? But he sees it as a very prayerful day to have your birthday, and I like that thought. Make some plans for Halloween that doesn't include candy. Mine's, we're going to go to 5 o'clock Mass, we're going to have a salad, and then we're going to go to the movies. I'm even going to risk people talking because I figured The Martian's been out for a while and maybe all the talkers have already seen it. So we're going to go see The Martian. Think about your Halloween plans. If you're going to be home giving out candy and you really can't stand licorice, then buy licorice for the kids. Don't buy, if you say, oh, I live for Snickers, I live for Snickers. Don't buy like 20 bags and say, oops, I didn't have any kids. You buy what you don't like. You know, do you like Dum-Dums? You know, those suckers? Oh, look at baby. Oh, yeah, I like them. Buy something you don't like and give that out. Also, on the 31st, on Halloween, think about progress, not perfection. We talked about that last week. And identify 5 things you did that showed progress. Progress. And then think about it. What does Halloween mean to me? I really thought long and hard about that. What does Halloween mean to me? Nothing. Halloween means absolutely, when the kids were little, it was fun to dress them up. My daughter put a picture on Facebook of her dressed up like a devil. Oh my gosh, I laughed for 5 minutes because she had these big glasses and she was like, made this face. That was fun. But now that the kids are gone and my grandkids are in Virginia Beach, I really don't care about Halloween. What do you love more than candy? List 10 things. Does anyone love God more than candy?
Yes.
Yeah. How about your husband? Don't think too long about that, ladies. Your spouse. Do you love your spouse more than candy?
Yes.
Good answer, Bob. Good answer. All right. Also, rake some leaves. Now, one person raked 25 hours last week and didn't lose any weight, but her arm muscle went in. It's still good. I always say, if you exercise and not lose weight, was that exercise in vain? No. Your body still thanks you for it. Look at the sky and talk to someone you love who is with God now. It's one of my favorite things to do. I say, Karen, remember when we'd go to the football games? Remember when we'd sing Young and Foolish and we were 16 years old and we didn't know what the heck we were singing about? I wish I could see you again. I talk to her. Talk to your dad. Talk to someone you love that's gone. That's more important than candy. Say the Hail Mary 20 times and walk in place. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Say it, do it. Monday, say hip hip hooray, I woke up today. My 96-year-old grandmother every day would say, any day on this side of the ground's a good day. It's a good day. Hip hip hooray. Visualize your weight 2 pounds lower than last week. Perform a random act of kindness. I love random acts of kindness. Then the same thing, read the intercessions. Don't overeat. Oh my gosh, it's Wednesday, don't overeat. Okay, I want to talk tonight, are we bodies or are we souls or are we both? I think because this is a Catholic weight loss group and we say eat less, move more, and pray. What does the God part of it really have to do with it? Because our bodies have gotten us in a little bit of trouble because our desires to overeat has made our bodies expand. But do we often think about our souls? Flesh and blood deserve equal billing with spirit and soul when talking about human nature. This article talked about, it was interesting, it talked about these kids who would write stuff on the sidewalk. You know how ever see kids write stuff on the sidewalk and you'd walk by and see what they wrote? But I love what these kids wrote because he says he was reading it, and it must have been right after Steve Jobs died, because they wrote things like, being the richest man in the cemetery doesn't matter to me. They wrote that one week. And then the next week they wrote, we just know there's something much bigger than any of us here. Steve Jobs said both those things. And then finally the last things they wrote were, oh wow, oh wow, oh wow, which are Steve Jobs' last words, which people have read a lot into. They've read a lot into it thinking, what did Steve Jobs see? Did he see the angel? Did he see light? Who knows? But they've read a lot into it. So the thing this person who wrote this article was thinking about is because then some weeks later he saw these kids right on the sidewalk. These were older, like teenagers. You do not have a soul. You are a soul. You have a body. Think about that. And then he had to look it up. You know, he probably Googled it, like we were talking about. C.S. Lewis said this. C.S. Lewis is one of my favorite authors. He's a Catholic writer. Let's say it again. You do not have a soul, you are a soul, you have a body. I like to think that way. I like to think that Ellen McCauley is in here, my spirit. Then he says, well, that kind of contradicts Thomas Aquinas, who says, you cannot say a human being has a body when it's the nature of a human being to consist of both body and soul. And then he talks about the glorified body we're taught to anticipate in eternity. We're going to have a glorified body. When Jesus came back from the dead, people didn't recognize him. When he was on the road to Emmaus, he was walking along with his buddies. They didn't know who he was at first. We're going to have a glorified body. I don't know about you, but I've got some stretch marks I don't want to see in heaven. I'd be very happy if they were not on my glorified body. I possess, and then he talks about, so many people today see their bodies as ownership. They say, well, I possess my body. It's mine to do with as I please. Oh, haven't we all heard that a lot? It's my body. You can't tell me what to do with it. It's my body. To be essentially soul and body means that the self cannot be defined in terms of one or the other. I'm not just a soul temporarily nesting in a shell of irrelevant flesh, nor am I a lustily vital body temporarily animated by some elaborate chemical soup that religious people like to call a soul, which I don't call it elaborate chemical soup, I do call it a soul. If I am both, as Jesus is God and flesh according to our creed, then neither is going to disappear. Our bodies will come back, our souls will come back. The body betrays, it weakens, it sickens, it dies, and there's suffering. And it's interesting because the other night when I left St. Camillus, I think it was Tuesday night, honey, I was defeated. My sister has suffered so much, and it was so difficult for me. And I said, Lord Jesus, should I pray that her suffering ends? I just can't get to that point. I just said, your will be done, your will be done. And on my phone, I have these alerts when there's these spiritual sayings. And just then there was an alert on my phone, and I swear it was from God. It said, the purpose of suffering is participating in the perfect love triangle of the Blessed Trinity. And I just sat there for a moment and I thought, suffering, to glorify God, to take my sister's suffering and offer it to God as a sacrifice, which her faith is so strong, that helped me. And I think about her earthly body that is so torn up with MS, and I think about her glorified mind and body, and it will be restored, and that is a promise from God. And that's why I want to use trying to get in shape as an offering for her suffering. And if some of you need something to give you a little spirit to move on, think of someone in your own life that is in a wheelchair or fighting cancer and offer that Halloween candy for them. I'm going to stop right there.